I believe that Chabba's Ascension, his update, is going to be a big deal in the current environment, the current meta, if you will. In this video, I want to talk about his upgrade and the best healers that I'm going to pair with him, and possibly even why everyone's favorite marksman hero might be making a comeback.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero War Central, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit about Chabba's Ascension, his rework, his update, all of that. If this is the first time you're joining me, Hero War Central, I like to do videos for the Facebook and web version of the game for, the new budget, efficiency-minded player. If that sounds like you, consider subscribing. But if all you do is watch the video and learn a thing or two, then my job here is done. Now, let's first talk about Chabba's Ascension, and Ascension is a very misunderstood situation. First and foremost, you have your Ascension tree, and everybody in the second tier of their tree has this little icon right here. If you look at every single hero on their second tier, they have this, and it says skill upgrade, not yet available for this hero. This doesn't mean that every hero is going to get Ascension skills. They use Ascension skills to balance heroes, to bring unpopular, unused heroes forward to make them popular or quote-unquote meta heroes. And that is what I believe is happening right now with Chabba. So the Ascension trees have color rank locks. So for example, I cannot get the third tier Ascension here until my Chabba is Violet +2 or higher. So whenever the Chabba Ascension skills go live, I will be able to purchase this skill because I have it unlocked to here. But the fifth tier, I won't be able to get to until I've ranked this guy all the way up. And indeed, I gotta get I think red zero to get to this fifth tier. So you can't just get the skills as a Violet Chabba. You have to be up there. You got to be ranking it up. And eventually, I think that you will. I think that this guy's going to end up being one of the better tanks in Hero Wars Dominion era. So we won't know for sure anything about that or any of the combos that I'm going to discuss in today's video. We're not going to know for sure anything about any of that until this stuff actually goes live. And this is going to be on the 22nd. Okay, the Sears Game is going to go live. A new extra powerful skin for Chabba probably means a double stat skin like the Lara Croft double stat skin that we had during her events. That's what I'm guessing is going to happen here. The way that the Sears Game works is basically you have to complete 30 levels of a luck-based game in order to get the grand prize. And, we'll talk about that again whenever it goes live. So, Glutton's Gratitude on Ascension Rate 2. So every time Chabba gets healed, the physical attack increases for the rest of battle. This works even if healing is blocked or Chabba is already at full health. So that's going to modify one of the existing skills to add that passive ability to this guy. And I think that's going to be very, very impactful. And this is where the discussion about the best healer is going to come into play, but we'll talk about that in just a second. As a strength-based hero, his physical attack is going to be lower than agility-based heroes, but as a tank, it's okay. He's got 1, 2, 3 physical attack skins, guys. He is going to be potentially one of the most damaging output tanks that this game has. We talk about Aurora, we talk about Corvus, we talk about Julius, we talk about Galahad. I think that the physical attack damage that Chabba is going to put out is going to be pretty impressive. I think it's going to surprise some people, just like Lyria's damage output as a strength hero surprises some people. So then we have Fast Food on Ascension. Wild Hunger skill costs 75% energy instead of 100. Wild Hunger is the swallow. Okay, swallows the current target for 6 seconds. While the target is swallowed, it slowly receives damage. So this is the ability that basically takes the first hero on the opponent's team out of the battle. And one of the problems that Chabba has is this ability is just too slow to activate. Yes, he's in the first position, so he should gain his energy faster than anybody else. But, if you're going up against energy-sucking heroes like Nebula or Jorgen here, then you're never going to use your ult. And that's a strategy for sure. So you got to be mindful of who you attack into. But we have this potential that his control effects will activate much sooner, multiple times each fight. And it looks like I might not even get the opportunity to use my my Chabba's ability here. I don't even think I got high enough. So one of the counters to Chabba is definitely going to be energy control heroes Nebula on manual mode, Jorgen and Astaroth burns the back end, so that doesn't really work. Any hero that is going to burn energy, I think, is going to be one of the ways to counter Chabba. But that's not really the point of this video. I wanted to discuss the better healers to go with. And first and foremost, I think that Aiden is going to be a big choice. We lose. One of the things about tanks is that they need high defenses. And just about every healer in the game has the ability to provide a defense buff. Discussing Aiden's artifact, it's armor. And if you look at just about every healer in the game, they provide some kind of defense buff. Where's my Martha, for example? Martha is also armor, right? You take a look at Thea. She is magic defense. She provides a magic defense artifact, right? So there is a number of healers that are going to work out really well based on who you're going to go up against. And obviously all of the discussions that we're going to have today is going to be based on the on your opponent's teams, right? So there is not going to be one healer that's going to work for every single line. Before we get into the discussion of the heroes, and let's jump over here and click this on healer. There's a few healers that aren't here that we have to discuss as well. Before we get into that, I do want to mention the last thing. The armor boost that Chabba receives from his fat layer upgrade is going to be doubled. So this is going to make him pretty tanky against physical damage teams. By far the biggest question is going to be, how well does Chabba stand up to Lyria Ishmael, or just Ishmael, or the Ching Mao teams, or the Kira undead teams, or all of those questions we're going to have to find out depending on how things work. When he uses his ultimate, he's going to be spiking his own armor as well, and at 75%, he's going to be ulting faster than basically every other hero in the game. So that's going to be, he's going to have naturally higher armor than basically any other tank. I think it's going to be a good opportunity to counter Lyria, and especially if Lyria tank is the team on defense, Chabba's going to take Lyria out of that. And that's going to kind of, that's a little tease as to the combo that I think a lot of people are going to be trying with Chabba. But back to the healer selection that we have here. There's one that I want to knock out right out of the gate that's not going to be good, but also could be good depending on your team choice. Dorian, not classically a good tank healer. Okay, Dorian has his vampirism aura, doesn't usually get to the tank, but Dorian is unique in that he has a physical attack artifact weapon. He's the only healer, really, that has an offensive artifact weapon. Everybody else is either armor or magic defense, or I think dodge in some instances. So, Dorian could be a good example, but he doesn't really heal the tank very well. So you got to be very careful. If you're going up against a team that does a lot of front end damage, like a Ching Mao or an Ishmael team, then Dorian is going to be bad. Okay. In that case, you're going to want Aiden. Any healer that's got a dedicated heal over time effect, not just a casted ability, I think is going to be what you're going to want to lean to. So take a look at Thea. Thea, I mentioned already, she's got her area of effect heal, right, which is good, but chances are this is all going to be used, and it's kind of slow. Relying on one of my least favorite things about Thea is her big heal is her ultimate, and so you struggle to get a lot of value of healing out of Thea because you rely on her ulting. Of course, she has her single target heal and the shield that it provides, the control abilities that Thea has, the silence, and then the speed up, right, for the ally when their health is below 30%. It's all good. Like, all of these skills are good, but she's a little slower of a healer as compared to other healers. Now, Jet is always going to be a good choice depending on the damage dealers that you use. His artifact is armor. He's got the damage boosting, but he doesn't have a ton of healing. I'm not really sure why we would consider him a healer. I don't like Jet as the main healer for a team, but you can always add him depending on the damage dealer that you are considering otherwise. Talking about Aiden, I think that Aiden is going to be, let's see, where is my Aiden? I think Aiden is going to be a really strong choice for a healer. Here we go. Armor artifact, I already told you. You have the shield, right? This is going to kind of prevent some of the cool abilities that Chabba has, like his damage getting lower. He's going to have higher armor and higher, higher armor, I guess. So in a way, Aiden doesn't really work, but Aiden is such a strong tank healer. Chabba's got high health and high armor. This health regen is the thing that I'm the most curious about. So every 2 seconds, starting from the beginning of the battle, he gains a little bit of healing every 2 seconds. So, the way that the Bonds of Flame flame work with inner fire. This is also kind of healing Chabba also, although I don't know how it's going to work, if it's going to work that way. This could just be every 2 seconds, Chabba is gaining bonus physical attack every 2 seconds, every 2 seconds, every 2 seconds. And then, of course, you have this bond effectively doubling Chabba's health. Any healing that Aiden does to himself is passed to Chabba. Any healing that Chabba gets is also passed to Aiden. So if you have another healer like Goose or Maya or Jet or Nebula, does a little bit of healing as well, that might actually increase as well. But the cool thing is the bonus that scales with their basic armor and magic defense stats. So it's a plus 10% armor and magic defense bonus that Chabba will gain. So the more damage he takes, the more armor he gains, and then he's going to gain 10% on top of that. So I think that's really, really, really good. Now the healer that I think is actually going to end up being the best for Chabba is going to be Maya, and that's because of the Queen of Flowers ability. The flower restores health to all teammates over time. So this is a constant heal that's always going off. The poisonous bonds collapsing the enemies together is going to be a little counterintuitive to Chabba, to be honest with you, but this, if you don't break the flower when she ults, then it's constant healing. It's not a lot of healing, but it's constant every few seconds, restoring health to all teammates over time. This is going to be huge because the longer this is up, this is a consistent drip of bonus physical attack that Chabba is going to get. The longer the fight goes, the more she's going to heal. The more physical attack that she's going to get. Never mind the armor bonus and the pure damage that Maya does. She's also really good at stripping Ode to Serenity from Sebastian's. Right? So I think Maya is going to be really good. I also think that we're going to see a resurgence of Martha. Now, Martha, here we go. Martha is kind of she's not as good a healer as people think. Her healing brew is pretty good. It heals the ally with the least health. And of course, the tea party, the totem, the teapot or whatever that comes out, it's an area of effect heal that pulses a lot, heals everybody on your team. It's really, really good for the situation, like I said, with Maya. Maya, when you break her flower, she stops doing the healing. When you break Martha's teapot with an area of effect damage hit, and it doesn't take much, then she's going to stop with her healing as well. The secret of longevity is where a lot of people think that Martha is really good as a healer, but she's actually not. So this ability heals herself. Okay, this only heals Martha. It doesn't heal an ally, why that's important is the healing meters are going to be skewed. It looks like Martha's going to be healing a lot more than another healer of equal power level, but she's actually just healing herself, if that makes sense. The speed up boost is absolutely incredible for just about every single team, but if you're not going up against an area of effect damage team, if you're going up against like a Kira team or an Iris team, a team that does area of effect damage, then her teapot's going to break and she's going to be kind of bad. Otherwise, if she's left to just heal and heal and heal and heal, then it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good for Chabba. And I think Martha or Maya are going to be the top healers to choose from. Now, a couple of healers that aren't healers that are worth considering is Goose. Now, everybody should have Goose. Everybody should just have gotten Goose. Goose is interesting in that he will be doing a small heal over time. The ult heals a random ally, which is not great, but we have this 5% heal over time to all allies, which is pretty good for Chabba. You might want to use Goose as a second healer, like have a primary healer like Aiden or Martha, and then use Goose, or maybe Goose and Maya both. That could be a fun combo. Neither one of them are a pure tank healer, but they all, they both could be really strong. The amount of golden feathers that Goose puts out, if Chabba happens to get a couple from a couple of these abilities and is constantly getting the 5% heal over time, then that's going to be, a constant trickle of bonus physical attack for Chabba as well, playing into that effect also. And then this right here, it kind of doesn't matter what Chabba's armor or magic defense is. This is just meaning the health. So once Chabba's health gets low, his armor gets high. And then we also have this huge chunk bonus heal that is going to, jump Chabba back up, which is going to boost his physical attack, considerably more, right? It does use up that feather, but you can always add more as well. But here's the thing. This lay on feathers ability right here, Goose's basic attacks are directed at allies, choosing those who are the closest to the front line, which is your tank, which is Chabba, and who does not have feathers yet. So as Chabba's feather is used up from Guardian Goose, then you have lay on feathers to keep that heal going. I think Goose is going to be the number one healer for Chabba. And I know a lot of people probably just got Goose and got him pretty high with the Goose event that we just had. I think Goose Chabba is going to be huge. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. You have the armor artifact to boost his armor even more. Really, really strong against physical attacking teams. Doesn't, fall over the healing doesn't stop whenever there's a little bit of area of effect damage, like with Maya or Martha. And the last healer that I want to talk about that's not a healer is Celeste. Now, Celeste is the fastest and strongest single target healer, but she also does a good amount of damage as well. And she also blocks healing. She also removes negative effects with one of her abilities. She's really good, and she puts a heal spot down or over the area with the ally with the least health left. And that's a heal over time for 5 seconds. Generally speaking, your tank's going to be the lowest health. I just don't think that she brings enough to the fight, but she does have a magic attack artifact weapon. So if you fill your Chabba team with magic damage dealers like Augustus Orion maybe, then that could be worth considering. You also have, you have a lot of magic attackers, Satori and a lot that could benefit from this. I think that you use Celeste in those instances, but I don't think you use Celeste otherwise. So for me, I'm looking at Goose. I'm looking at Goose, like I said. I'm looking at Goose. I'm looking at Martha. I'm looking at Maya. And I'm looking at Aiden. And those are going to be the 4 healers that I'm going to test when this event, whenever this ability or whatever this upgrade goes live on the 22nd here. I think it's Thursday, so Wednesday night, I think is when it's going to happen. Now, here's the really exciting thing that I wanted to test, and that is when Chabba eats Lyria, does her dodge restriction aura go away? Let's test this out. I don't think that we're going to kill each other here. We should be able to eat Lyria right about, let's see. And she's gone, and her aura goes away. You guys see that? Lyria's dodge reduction aura disappears whenever Chabba eats her. There's a lot of teams right now that are using Lyria as a tank on defense. That could be a strategy if you are thinking about ways to use your dodge-based heroes. What if we have found a way to bring Dante back into the meta? Like, what if that's the case? Now, obviously, Lyria kind of hard counters Dante, but, if there's no Lyria dodge reduction aura, then Dante is going to be free to dodge. And then that might be enough. Obviously, this is not an optimized team for this test. So with Lyria gone, we could, start into the bonus dodge that Dante has and, get that dodge energy engine rolling. So I think that could be a really, really strong combo. Of course, I'm using Dorian here because I wanted to keep Chabba alive, and, keeping him in his aura could be good. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. Am I way off base here with the healers to choose for this upgraded hero? Dante Chabba, is that going to be the new meta? I'm going to call it now that it might be. Dante Chabba Goose, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. It's all going to go live August 22nd. I'm very excited for it. If you like this video, if you thought it intriguing, entertaining at all, please consider liking it. I'm going to be live streaming Monday through Friday. The schedule's on screen now. Check it out, guys. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.